Yeah, Rosette FC, post-European wrap-up. Myself, Cavalier, Adam Peacock, the man, the host at the centre of the fantastic Stan Champions League coverage. Welcome to you.
Thank you, Ed. Given the week that he's had, is it fair to say that James has been unable to uncoil himself from a little tiny ball in the corner of some room somewhere?
It's just incredible. Even Riverside is unhappy with you. It said Riverside is saying, ask Adam to close all other browser tabs open with Riverside. I don't know what you're running over there. I don't know what type of scam you're running.
That was my cricket one. Sorry.
Oh, how'd you go?
I've gone better than what they have in the Punjab region in the last 24 hours. So
yeah. Are they all going? Are they all leaving, the IPL Australian guys?
As we sit here right now, I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what is happening. I don't think they're sure. So we'll find out when they wake up. You and I both know.
They should be playing it in Saudi. They should do the right thing and play it in Saudi like everybody else. Do you know what I mean?
I've got a fair idea that the next edition might be somewhere in that region, because there's not going to be a war in that region. So just take that out of the equation.
Come on, we'll do that. We'll do The Voice. We'll do, the Australian election. We'll just do it all. We'll do the Adam Bant losing party. We'll do it all in Saudi. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
I just thought you were wondering. You were staring at the distance, thinking about
the options.
Just cut out. Here I am. So the Saudi they're getting to us. We're on board, guys. We're on board. So let's just go through it, shall we? So working backwards.
Yep.
Ange gets across the line and he's into a European final.
Brilliant. Fantastic.
Did you watch? I got up and watched some of their action. It was pretty much over. Well, not over, but even though they scored later on in the game, they didn't look too nervous.
No, we had that as our main game this morning, but we were thinking when Manchester United copped a goal in the first half against Athletic Bilbao to make that 3-1 on aggregate, we thought, we've gone down the wrong path here, because Manchester United could, and Ruben Amorim, we'll get to them in a moment, he did say before the game, he was asked, you're going to see this out, aren't you? He basically said, have you seen us play this season? Anything is possible. Even he called it.
This is the anything is possible derby, isn't it? It really is. I mean,
yeah.
So let's hear a little bit of Ange post. He was happy for about 4 minutes. And then this is his 4 minutes 23 of the press conference. I get it. The constant badgering of Ange by posh English blokes, who weren't smart enough to get into law at Cambridge, and now they slum it in football. I get it. It's annoying. I hate their voices. I hate their takes. I get it. I get the patronising nature of the way they act. I get it. So have a go at this. This was a good one though. This is from the press conference after the match, and is it Matt? I can't work. It's someone called Matt. They're all called Matt or Dan or or whatever they're called. So take it away. Here we go.
Have constantly said that this competition won't save their season. Managers and players have said it. Would it save Tottenham's season? Is it different for Tottenham?
Why do I care what Man United think? Why is that relevant to me? So ask the Manchester United manager why he says that. Me, I've said all along that this is important. Now,
what does it mean for yours? What does it mean for Tottenham's season then?
Well, to be fair, you know better than me. You follow this club probably more than I have. What do you think a trophy would do for this club? Exactly right. So the question answers itself. It's like it doesn't need me to. But you know what? What's happening right now is that people are fearing that it actually might happen. And because it might happen, let's see how we can tear it down somehow, diminish it somehow by, saying that it's been a poor season and it's, we don't deserve this or we don't deserve that, or somehow comparing us to Manchester United. Maybe if we had Manchester United's success, maybe I'd have a different view. But I came into this role, like you said, you know better than me. I could have been sitting here exactly the same time, 5th position. And I guarantee you the commentary around me would, well, that's great, Ange, but this club needs to win something.
Yeah, correct.
He's had a gutful.
A
manager has had a gutful. The very thing, the easiest thing in the world to work out when a manager's had a gutful is when he starts asking the journalist the question.
That's the best.
Back, just a volley back over the net. But look, back to your original one about how Spurs played. So this is probably where Ange is going to get himself annoyed as well, because they'll start asking, how did you play? You didn't quite hit your rhythm against Bodo Glimt. Do you think you'll have to find more against Manchester United? They didn't, because they played a different way and they essentially controlled the game without the ball, especially deep in their final third around the box, where Bodo Glimt are really different, so difficult to deal with. So it was a different performance from Spurs under what you would say is the traditional way of Ange Postecoglou playing style. But I think Ange has got to the point as well, whereas like the victory overdoes any thought of what the attacking performance was like, and immensely satisfying. He was going off at full time. He was so happy.
He looked at it, and he looked
A-League
really
grand final levels.
They're in the final of the Europa League. It's who versus Manchester United, and the winner gets a spot in the Champions League. So 16th versus 17th, people keep talking about this, but you go, I think it feels like he knows it's his last game for the team.
Yeah, I get that sense as well. That's
the vibe I get is that.
Ange is with a management group in the UK and Europe where he's not going to struggle for desired outcomes if he does leave Tottenham, especially now that he's made the final. If he wins it, even better, he goes up in the realm. If he leaves the Spurs, I could see him, and he wins this, he becomes attractive to, say, Bayer Leverkusen if Xabi Alonso leaves.
Wow, really?
For instance. Yeah, or potentially...
Won't they freak out at the defensive, not frailties, but the way he won't go, no.
Maybe like an Atalanta if Gasperini eventually leaves.
He feels... he feels so Lazio to me. I can't explain it. I can't explain why Ange feels so Lazio. Yeah. He just feels so... He's just got such big Lazio energy around him. Big Lazio energy around Ange at the moment, or even AC. In a weird twist of fate, I know the CEO of AC Milan, and
why get him on?
Well, I was thinking about just texting him, going, "Hey, what about this nice man? What about this guy? Yeah. What about my friend Ange? He's a nice guy."
He's secret agent for AC Milan. How dare you?
Oh yeah. No, I can't do that. Sorry, I withdraw. Hey, so on that, I got a question for you. This is an official question. Obviously, my team is in the final of the Champions League.
Yes,
and
deservedly so.
Thank you. My Italian friend, Michael Luciano, who got me into soccer when he was playing for Sydney Olympic or United, can't remember. He was in Tim Cahill's team when we were growing up. He has got me a ticket.
Gee.
So, but what I need from you, is I need to pretend it's work. So, can I be a correspondent for Stan or something if I'm going?
Sure, I can put you in touch with the guys. It's not my call, but
whose call is it?
Probably the producer's call, but I'll definitely put in a good word for you.
Well, who else is going to
go? So we're sending a couple of reporters from the UK. Yeah, from the UK, and we're doing the coverage from back here. Oh, I wish we were all going, but
who's who?
It's expensive. I think Katie Shanahan, our two reporters that have been at most of the games.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is if I'm paying my own way there, I'm not asking you to be... I'll say I'll pay for myself to go. I just need to say that it's work so I can put it on me tax. So you can save money by sending me and not with these two other people that you keep, that seem to be made up.
They're already booked in, they're going. But what we can do, we can put you up, but you wear your oldest and most traditional and the Inter Milan jersey that's going to have people going, whoa.
Yeah,
he's really
I feel like Madonna. I could have a different one every 10 minutes. I could wear like layers of that, like an onion, and just keep.
So put that on.
As I went.
We'll put that on. We'll get one of them to interview outside the stadium. There's your ATO.
No, I now throw the Ed Cavalier. With all due respect, nobody reporter 1 and nobody reporter 2 who are just, sucking on the teat of Stan before they try and get promoted to someone they don't care about. This is someone who cares about Inter Milan and is, this is real fandom, not, glomming on.
Yeah, I get that you care, but this is I care about current events and comedy. So this is like me saying, can you get me to host Have You Been Paying Attention one week?
But I've already done soccer draws. I've done soccer shows for years.
We'll get you involved. All
right, there you go. Tax.
There's your
Costas, that's my accountant. Costas, you heard that. ATO, you heard that. I know they listen.
Now, real question for you is how deep down in your heart, now that you've had a couple of days to absorb the fact that you're into a final, that's how you're going to deal with PSG, who... I don't know how much you've watched of Luis Enrique's side this year.
A lot.
They are the best footballing side in the Champions League, which doesn't mean everything when you get to a final.
We're the best footballing side because football has many facets. So they're the best attacking team, but they're not the best goalkeeping team. They're not the best defending team, and they're not the best.
Have you seen Donnarumma?
We'll see about that. We will see about that. He's fine when it's all in front of him. He's always been fine when it's all in front of him. He's always
What I'm
been
looking
fine.
forward to is Manchester United putting in a bid for €90 million for Jan Sommer at the age of 36 because he looks really good because they did that last time when you made a Champions League final, didn't you?
We sold 50 million on Nana for 50 million. We bought Sommer for 5. So Man United have already, yeah, they gave us 50. We made a $50 million profit to get a better goalkeeper. And like Damian, everyone's like, oh, I remember Damian, he sucks. No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Just because you went to Manchester United and you weren't that good, just for all you posh English people doing podcasts, that doesn't mean you're not a good player. That's what happens. People get worse there. Who's gotten better, Peacock? Who's gotten better at United in the last 10 years? Who's improved?
Maybe Bruno Fernandes. What I will say is you could put together, and we might do it for our next episode, a damn good episode, a damn good 11, I should say, of the players to leave Manchester United and get better in the last 5 years. Scott McTominay, for instance.
Yeah, Anthony, right now. Anthony right now is like the best
into
winger
a
in
European.
Spain. Yeah, he's in the best winger in Spain. The best midfielder in Serie A is Scott McTominay. Damian is like not the best, but he's like playing at an incredibly high level. You're right. That's a great 11. The not good enough for United, now much better player 11.
I've got to write that down because I always forget to think of a subject
good
until
one.
10 minutes before
Please
our
do that.
podcast. So
That's a really one.
With in your heart of hearts, how was that sitting through that with the Inter Milan game against Barcelona? The best semi-final I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, I was done when Rafinha scored. We looked so tired. People were just slumped. Like Mkhitaryan was lying on the ground.
Yeah,
I was like, that's annoying. And then,
but Inzaghi
we
changed
pumped
it on 80 minutes when he brought those two other midfielders on, Fratesi and who's the other one he brought on?
Well, the thing about Fratesi,
Zelensky,
the Polish guy. The problem with the good thing about Fratesi is he just scores goals. And he just knows how to score goals. And everyone was really off him because when we played the Roma game a few weeks ago, and then he was like, oh, it's your fault because you got to start. He never really starts. And it's like, oh, it's your fault. We can't hold the ball, blah, blah, blah. Because he can't pass very well. But here's a question for you. Are Acerbi and Fratesi the two most Italian people to have ever scored a goal in a semi-final for different reasons?
Yeah. Both extremely Italian, joyous celebrations. Especially
different types of Italians. So Acerbi's that... when I did Dancing with the Stars, my dancer, Georgia, who's married to an Italian dancer, the handsomest man in the world, called Gustavo, who's a Napoli supporter, which is disgusting. But he has a lot of just sort of random tattoos. And I said to him once, what is it with Italians and tattoos? And he said to me something that's always made sense to me. He goes, for us, it's just fun pictures. And I was like, oh my God. So whenever you see an Italian, and they've always got this just most bizarre, eclectic mix of tattoos.
Diamante. Perfect example.
And Acerbi is on the random selection of fun pictures. They're like a suggestion. That is one of my favorite things about Italians. And when Acerbi took his shirt off, I was like looking. I was like, none of these things make any sense next to each other.
It's brilliant. Yeah, you've got all kinds of different. It's like they've picked out the things you use to get around the board of Monopoly and gone, I'll get that, and I had that last week at my uncle's house, so I'll get that. Yeah. I mean, the best one I've seen of eclectic bunch of tattoos, getting off track here, is a tennis player, Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova, who all the big events she's gone to, she gets a tattoo of that event. But say she's played in the Olympics, she didn't get the Olympic rings. She got like a sushi roll because it was in Tokyo.
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's a tribute. These are tributes. So, and also everyone's all, has spoken about what, Acerbi's story about testicular cancer, about how he's lost his father, alcoholism. Like he's got an incredible story. And what I like most about Acerbi, and I'm going to see if I can share this now because this is from a photo where he'd done something wrong and he was about to get banned because he was like insulted someone, classic. Anyway, have a look at this. Like that photograph, right? If I said to you, if I blurred the background and walked up to 50 people and said, "What does this man do for a living? What do you reckon? Elite footballer? How long would I have to find? How many people would I have to speak to before they said elite footballer?"
Yeah, I'd say firstly he smokes.
That's the other thing. How good is he that he hasn't fixed his teeth? Yeah, the worst teeth in the universe for this.
I would say he is more likely to start trouble outside a football ground than cause joy inside a football ground, with all due respect to him.
And while we're there, let's just go through it. Okay, so the keys, they'll have some insurance inputs, fair enough. Is that Mickey Mouse's hand? Why wouldn't it be? The lion is Is it a Pokemon of some sort? What's that? What are we doing here? Is it a typewriter? What are we? What are we doing? What are we doing?
I was just happy we got to see them all after he scored that. And by the way, if you don't mind, the way he scored the goal, why is he playing the majority of his football on the pitch, the positionally where he is? That was an elite finish.
And his wrong foot. He was right foot. He's left-footed. It was his right foot.
Yeah.
And you just see the look on Szczesny's face as it flies past him. Szczesny does that thing that you'll sometimes see in UFO documentaries when they do a recreation and the UFO flies quickly overhead and they get the people who are, pretending they've seen a UFO to sort of quickly, to do that, like eyes up into the sky for a second.
Like I was at the start of the podcast.
Yeah, just like that. Yeah, they just do a quick to the sky and Szczesny just does the perfect, what the fuck was that? As it goes past.
Hey, what did you make of Mikel Arteta's comments with his team in the Champions League?
One of the saddest people. His,
I felt for him.
His Pep Guardiola cosplay is so tragic. It's so tragic. You're not the best team in the competition. You're not even the fourth best team. You're not the fourth best team. You could be the fifth best team, maybe, but you're not even fourth.
Yeah.
And by what metric are you the best?
Well, I don't know why he said that. Maybe it's because the new sporting director's coming in and he feels that he needs to inflate the achievement, which he probably doesn't need to do. It is a massive achievement, and they lost a tight game to a better football side. And I'd say this with James here, he'd want to kill me, but PSG over the two legs, a little bit better. Donnarumma was a fantastic performance in both ones. So yes, Arsenal created chances, but they did not score. So it's unfortunate. It's a little I wouldn't call it delusional. It's a little diversion from the truth, I would say, but it's his truth, and I get that he's emotional.
Do you think he believes
Arsenal,
that?
Sorry?
Oh, I don't think he believed it. I don't think he believed it. I don't believe it. Kate Langbrook, one of Kate Langbrook's many great sayings. Yeah. Kate always says the truth has a cadence to it, and that just didn't. The cadence of that was just not. He sounded like he thought he should say it, but I don't sound like he believed it.
Fair enough. Did she use that on her kids to say that this is how I'll work out if you're bullshitting me or not? But if you tell me, everyone. Oh yeah. But good luck trying to get something, past Kate. So they, many have tried. Few she's like a chirby. Few have passed. So they also, but this thing of always wanting something slightly better, Adam. This is where we're at this time of the season. Of Arsenal need a forward. Do they need? They do. Man United, what do they need? Oh, they need help for. How funny is the phrase Fernandes needs help? One of the funniest phrases I've ever heard in my life. So they need 10 players.
Yeah.
Based on that.
Eight. What was it? Jamie Carragher wrote in, I think, one of the papers that Liverpool need 8 new players. 8.
I can't get.
Where are these players?
What I don't get is, and I get it, it's the top end. So if you don't have something in the fridge, you don't go to the backyard to try and make it. You go to the shops and don't worry about it. I'll buy it now. But I can't work out why there's so much of a need to just turn over your squad and churn your squad as much as possible year on year on year. And it's purely about shopping. It's nothing about coming through on the whole.
And the arbitrage is Inter, because Inter takes Inzaghi and Inter take players that have either lost a little bit of shine or luster for whatever reason and don't pay much or nothing for them, and back Inzaghi and the system, and the fact that players are like, well, who says they're a bad player?
I'd be interested to see what their recruitment. Sorry, I'd be interested to see what their. I don't know if you got insight into this. Their recruitment kind of algorithm. That there'd be something that have a set of kind of figures.
Well, it's
on the guy's
name. It's this guy who I always forget. It's him and Morata. No, Pepe Morata. I can't remember his name at the moment, but he is the guy basically who does it, and it's always cost in, so they don't like paying transfer fees. So that already rules out most people. If they're going to pay a transfer fee, it's only for someone really young, or it's for someone like Soma, where it's like, look, we've got a need here. We've sold him for 50-something. This guy is really good. 5 million is not much. Otherwise, they won't do it. And then they basically wait. This is the time of year where Inter just waits, see who comes off contract, and then or goes to people a year before. So Zielinski, that we went to him a year before he came off contract, and said, listen, just come here. There'll be a bit of a signing bonus. You'll play. Here's the wages. And people are happy, as you know, Adam, because it's like a gig. They go, great, I've got a gig. I've got a gig going forward. It'll be a good team. I've got a chance. And so it doesn't hurt as much when someone like Arnautovic doesn't work out. It doesn't hurt as much.
Yeah. but he in himself has had great, like he's been there a body as cover for
That's
he's
true.
played
When we've needed
barely
it,
played Champions League. He's played a lot of league football and the cup run as well. So Inter Milan PSG final in Munich, 1st of June here in Australia, featuring Ed Cavalier on Stan Sport.
Thank you. Great to be here.
New edition, but anyway. We've got the Europa League final, I think it's the morning of May 22. So Tottenham, Manchester United. I made the point this morning on the coverage to say, if you had shares in a bar in Bilbao, a tsunami's coming. It might cause a bit of destruction, but it's going to fill your little place with it.
And the ER room, the two places that are most need to get their act together. And then
Conference League. Don't forget the Conference League.
So
Real Betis, who got it done in the second, or they got a 2-2 draw in the second leg after extra time.
Yeah, against
they will play
Chelsea.
Those little battlers out of England, Chelsea. So in the Conference League.
To me, that's the biggest. Like everyone's like, oh, you know, it's the 16th versus 17th in the Premier League and the Europa League. I'm like, that's not the travesty. The travesty is the other lot who've got 3 squads sending, trying to reinvent contracts and selling women's teams to themselves to try and pretend they've made money. That's the are we sure this is what this is for of the whole thing?
Yeah, that's an existential question that UEFA might need to answer. I've got it. My idea, don't know if I mentioned it to you guys the other day, but I mentioned it somewhere else, is that if you've got the possibility of having 5 teams in the Champions League automatically qualify, like England and Spain do next year, it needs to filter. There's got to be a stop point at some point. We're going to get the stage where 12th is going to qualify automatically for European competitions
that is very
out
true.
of the Premier League. So
that's true, yeah.
Maybe do away with the Conference League spot. Mark Bosnich makes the point, well, no, because you got a team like Chelsea in the Conference League. When they go to a Borac Banja Luka, it's the biggest thing that the club's ever seen in their lives.
And that's fine. It becomes a tour. It becomes a tour rather than a competition. And each year they'll cycle in and out, these teams. So some years it's a tour, some years it's a competition. So I sort of agree with Bosnich. It's like, all right, well, at least you get... It is lifting the boats. It is lifting all the boats, but just not at that top moment.
But you've got the QE2 against fishing trawlers. So
that's true.
I would like to see that competition be out because back in the day, the best. I don't know why UEFA started fiddling with it, but they had the best structure. European Cup turned into Champions League, UEFA Cup Winners' Cup. It was clearly defined how it was, but then they started adding, and I get why the Champions League became inflated because it's all about TV revenue. And if you have a look at what each team has earned in the Champions League this season, it is mind-blowing. It's a good time to walk into Inter Milan and ask for some money.
And it's also how PSG are going to pretend that they've got the revenues they've got. They reckon they've got like an 800 million euro in revenues. They don't have a TV deal. Does not have a television deal. And they reckon they got 800 million euro. How? Someone do the books, please.
But now that they've finally worked out that they didn't probably need to go and do all that with Messi, Mbappe, Neymar.
Yeah.
I mean, Mbappe was always coming to the club, but he went to Monaco first. But they've worked out that, what about if we get a really wide-thinking manager and get a lot of young players through and just add little pieces around, we can come up with a really good side that's going to potentially dominate European competition for a season or two.
That's so funny. So I want to leave you with this. So I've got this, my favourite thing is that, change relegation in the Premier League. Everyone who doesn't get 40 points goes down. So it could be...
Fair enough. So 6 could go down.
Yep. So you want jeopardy? You want to shake up the snow globe of the British system? So going into this round, you've got obviously Southampton, Leicester and Ipswich done. Yeah. Everton, Man U, Tottenham, West Ham, all still under 40 points.
So you get 7 going down potentially.
Yeah, that's fun.
What would be the most boring game of football all time if you went into the last match day and two sides were on 39 points and they played each other?
So
do you reckon there's much ambition in that?
No. But what is the greatest match day of all time is if both teams are on 37 points.
Exactly.
Or 37 and 38. You know what I mean? Now, that would be the greatest game of all time.
Oh, like the terraces had turned into the opening scene of Gladiator.
So, all right, imagine this. Man United versus West Ham on the final day of the season where they both need a point to stay up. Come on.
This is taking on Japanese game show.
Takeshi's Castle. The original and still the best. That's fun, isn't it?
Brilliant. Good idea. Right. I don't mind the thinking.
It's fun. And it would change. It would fix it. It would absolutely fix it. Because every year now, they'd be like, fucking hell, What are we going to do? Shit, go down. We'll even have a playoff. It's 3 that go down, and it's a playoff between the teams that are under 40, and there's an extra spot. Because that's the only way you're gonna get-
the reverse of what they do in the championship. So the 4 next bottom teams go into that.
Yeah.
The relegation playoff. Not a bad idea.
All right, we'll be back next week. If you missed any of it, catch up on your Stan Sport. Fantastic Champions League coverage. Let's do quick predictions. Who do you think's going to win Champions League?
Inter Milan. Not just saying it. I've said it since January, Ed.
Yeah, I know you have.
I wish I got the price. I wish I was a gambling man.
I know. We were like 20-something. You have been on board because you quite rightly have pointed out on the coverage many times that they can play different styles and that they can, they can suffer and they can cop it. So, and that's full credit to you. You have been on that for a long time. What about the Europa?
Tottenham.
Please. Please.
Honestly, at their best, they're a better football team than Manchester United in this moment.
Yep.
At their best.
God help me. And conference?
Heart says Real Betis.
I know.
Head says Chelsea, so I'll go with the Spaniards. I like the Spanish name. Yeah.
The real bummer trifecta is PSG into Man U, Chelsea. What an establishment. That's like the Empire Strikes Back. What an establishment. What an establishment situation to take place.
Just before we go, Ed, I just got to final message. Dodsy, thoughts and prayers. I look forward to your company next Tuesday. Have a good weekend, mate. We're here for you. If you need us, you know our number. Just give us a call. You'll get through this. We'll get through this. We'll get through this. We'll get through this together. All right. Talk to you next week. Thanks, Ed.